Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Why don't we greet each other? God bless you. God loves you. Yes. God loves you. God bless you. I love you.
Everybody else, good morning. Mona. Wave.
Huh? Oh, because sun came out, yeah. Early this morning was cloudy, but around 9 o'clock sun came out. Huh? And maybe turn this light off, so, yeah. Are you guys hot? Really hot?
Yeah, we've been working out.
Then,
I asked you to turn it on and you said no.
oh, okay. Yeah, I'm okay, but. Yeah, turn it on.
Well, if you're gonna cough, then
No, it's okay. It's alright. Turn it on. Democracy. It's on now? Okay. Hallelujah. It's already cool. Okay, we're in chapter 5 now. Now the Paul is pointing out the specific sins going on in the church. At first was a division. Now in chapter 5, he said, verse 1, I can hardly believe the report about the sexual immorality going on among you, something that even pagans don't do. What does he mean by that? What kind of sins pagans don't do? No? Guess. Here, I am told that a man in your church is living in sin with his stepmother. So what kind of sin is he talking about? Incest. Even pagans don't do such a thing, but how dare you're Christians? You're doing horrible sins. See, we can guess and imagine the background, the environment where they lived in. The church in Corinth, the city itself, it's very mixed culture and a lot of idol worships are going on. But problem is, the people in the church noticed that and knew, but they just ignored. Why? Sometimes we saw someone sin in the church. It's not just the brother's sin, but sister's sin as well. Right? Hey, we are not perfect, so it could happen. Just let it go and let it be. You know, today we like to know what God says in the Bible. So how do we deal with the people's sin in the church? You know, Paul said here, where does it say? Yeah, verse 11, I meant that you are not to associate with anyone who claims to be a believer, yet indulges in sexual sin, or is greedy, or worships idols, or is abusive, or is a drunkard, or cheats people. Don't even eat with such people. See, the previous verse 10, I wasn't talking about unbelievers who indulge in sexual sin, or are greedy, or cheat people, or worship idols. He's talking to believers. Because you know who God is. You have Christ in your life. But how can you do such a things? Pagans even don't do that. In other words, you're just disgraceful, despised before God. But not only brother or sister who committed sin in the church, Paul is talking to church members. You know, when you read this chapter, Paul said, you know, the last verse of chapter 5, God will judge those on the outside, but as the scriptures say, you must remove the evil person from among you. So what does he mean by that? We all sin, right? Because we are not perfect. So if we remove one by one out of the fellowship, who's going to be left in the church? Jesus Christ. Is that what he meant? We need to just kick them out because you're a sinner. You don't belong here. Then who's going to be left out? Jesus Christ. Is that what he meant? No, right? Okay, notice verse 2. Paul says, how do we deal with brothers and sisters' sin in the church? First thing is giving us teaching that you should be mourning in sorrow and shame. So when we find someone who committed sin in the church, we should be grieved and mourned. What does that mean? We need to ask God, intercede. We don't just point that person, hey, you committed sin. So, before I say harsh things, you should leave. Don't come to church anymore. I don't want to see your face because you're